Jack Silvagni has officially departed from the Blues. Let's talk about it. So on Tuesday, the 26th of August, Jack Silvagni had his exit meeting with the Carlton Football Club, and he informed them that he will be exercising his free agency ability and leaving the club. Now, in a statement, he said, whilst the decision was not easy to leave the football club, I felt the time was right to explore another opportunity. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone at the club for their support during my time there. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity this club has given me and my family. Jack Silvagni leaving ends a three-generational Silvagni name at Carlton. He turns 28 at the end of the month. And Carlton did offer him a contract. In a statement from Carlton, they said, we made it really clear to Jack that we wanted him to remain a Carlton person. However, as an unrestricted free agent, Jack had a right to meet with a number of clubs and as a result has made his decision to pursue other opportunities. This is the reality of our industry in regard to player movement. Now, we've seen Jack Silvagni at his best this year, playing as a backman, and he was coming off the ACL. I even forgot that he did his ACL and was out for the entirety of the 2024 season. Before that, he was a forward, he was a ruckman, but he's really made his claim as a backman, and that way you can see why Collingwood are really, really going after him. Now, Silvagni hasn't said who he wants to go to, but, Collingwood are obviously the forerunners, and then you've got the Western Bulldogs, who, if you watch their game against Fremantle, definitely need a backman. And then I think St Kilda might still be up there with a little bit of a chance, mainly because of the Silvagni connection. His dad's obviously the list manager there. Do you want to work with your dad again? I'm not too sure, but it seemed from all media outlets that it is Collingwood or the Bulldogs. So there's a little tidbit to sort of remember here, that even though he hasn't nominated anyone yet, mainly because Collingwood are obviously playing finals, and the Western Bulldogs still have a chance to play finals as well if, Gold Coast lose to Essendon, which probably won't happen. So if Gold Coast do beat Essendon on Wednesday, I reckon we should know by the end of the week, maybe in the next fortnight or so, if he's nominating the Bulldogs. So if the Bulldogs are out and he hasn't nominated the Bulldogs yet, I think it means, he's coming to the Pies and more than likely just waiting for our final season to finish, hopefully with a 17th flag before he nominates us. Now, free agency doesn't open until October 3rd, and it's just going to be absolutely crazy off-season. In speaking about free agency, Mychek still hasn't signed, and he's an unrestricted free agent. Jamie Elliott hasn't signed, and he's still an unrestricted free agent, even though he's got 2-year contract in front of him. Mychek, from all reports, has a 1-year, but his manager has been on holidays, so hopefully talks start to ramp up, and he does get that 2-year offer that he wants. But, it's all fun and games that Silvagni's leaving Carlton and could possibly come to Collingwood, but the reality is that we might have a couple of players leave Collingwood as unrestricted free agents as well. So that is going to be an interesting wait and see in October. For me, though, it's just an absolute no-brainer that we would pursue Jack Silvagni as hard as we have. It's a 4-year offer in around the vicinity of $700,000 is sort of being reported. It sounds like the Western Bulldogs are giving him the same sort of amount. And it also sounds like Carlton gave him or offered him the same amount as well, but he chose, to seek opportunity elsewhere. Imagine going into this final series with fit Silvagni, with what he did at Carlton this year. With Jeremy Howe down, you put Silvagni straight in. He would have been in the team anyway, but you know what I mean. I wish he could play for us first week of finals. I think I made that joke in a review of the game. But I think it's just an absolute no-brainer, especially because it doesn't cost any trade picks, anything like that. It's just a free agency, kind of like when Dan McStay came to the club as well. So at $700,000 with the CBAs going up, that's going to be cheap as chips in a couple of years. He's 28 at the end of the year. So not a young defender, but you want a ready-made defender that can slot straight into our club and straight into our best 23. And, let Darcy Moore breathe a little bit, be that Nathan Murphy replacement. Imagine him, Billy Frampton, Darcy Moore, Reef McGuinness as well, all working in tandem in that back line. And I leave out Jeremy Howe because we still don't know what Jeremy Howe, how he's going to bounce back, if he bounces back, what that looks like going forward. But I think Silvagni would be an incredible get based off of his year this year down back. It wouldn't be the first time we see a Silvagni at Collingwood because his brother Ben did play for our VFL team a couple of years ago. So we've already had a Silvagni here, so it's not breaking the mold, but a Silvagni in the first team. Could you just imagine that first game against Carlton? That would be, it's already huge. It's a game against Carlton, but that would be just even bigger. It would be absolutely incredible. So Jack Silvagni gets a tick of approval from me. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he nominates the Pies. We've put our best deal forward. He sees what we're building. We're batting deep into finals, hopefully. If he's coming to a club that wants to play finals, he wants to play with Dan Houston. He's one of his best mates, Nick Dacos. It's just an absolute no-brainer. But let me know your thoughts down below. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.